Back with another album review. Today's review is on Higher Truth from Chris Cornell. This is the fourth and final solo album that Chris had done before his untimely death on May 18th, 2017. This album was recorded between 2014 and 2015, and it was released on September 18th, 2015 under Universal Music Enterprises. This album was produced by Brendan O'Brien, who had previously worked with Audioslave and Rage Against the Machine. The reason why Chris had chose Brendan is because he wanted to create a more intimate sound for the album. Like Chris did vocals and guitar for this album, but he also played bass guitar, mandolin, and various percussion instruments. Brendan O'Brien also played guitar and bass, but he also played keyboards, hurdy-gurdy, drums, and various percussion instruments. There's also Patrick Morin on piano, Matt Chamberlain on drums, and Anne-Marie Simpson on strings. When recording the drums for this album, Chris said that most of the songs with drums were either loops that he made electronically, or Brendan recorded with his drum set. The album was primarily centered around folk rock. Very, very much like Chris's first solo album, except this one also has a focus on psychedelic rock as well. Different from Chris's second solo album, where he was constantly switching between alternative and hard rock. Now back to this album. And from what I read, is that this album was mostly met with positive reviews, and rightfully so. This album also peaked at number 19 on the Billboard 200. And now to talk about the songs. This album starts with Nearly Forgot My Broken Heart. This song is the only song on the album to get released as a single. And the single was released on August 12th, 2015, just 3 months before the album. Chris said in an interview in 2015 how he was inspired to write the song. And he said he was on tour with Soundgarden. He had written down the title, which later gave him the idea for the song. There was a music video that was directed by Jesse Hill, and was released on September 11th, 2015. It shows Chris with Eric Roberts playing prisoners about to be hanged. And an onlooker, Elena Satine, distracts the hangman. Chris snoozes sabotage by the executioner's assistant, so he survives the hanging. And his character is later forced to marry the woman who sabotaged the hanging. The woman... the video ends with the other prisoner about to be hanged, and the onlooker about to do the same thing. Chris' 10-year-old son, Christopher, also makes an appearance in the video. Chris actually did his own stunts for the video, but he had an accident on set, and they were forced to do the mock hanging multiple times before they could get it right. There was a chemical liquid that singed the noose that was tied around Chris' neck, and some of the chemical rubbed off his neck and left him with second-degree burns on his shoulder. I read online that the video was actually removed from YouTube just 3 weeks after Chris' untimely death. And I think the reason why is because people at YouTube didn't want to remind people of that. However, there is a lyric video for the song, and I'll link that in the description. The song is followed up by Dead Wishes, which has more of an upbeat feel to it. Before We Disappear is a slow-paced song, but it also feels very atmospheric. It's also one of my favorite songs on the album. Josephine is more of a love song, and I like it. Murder of Blue Sky is a pretty memorable song. Higher Truth obviously shares the same title as the album. Let Your Eyes Wander, Only These Words, and Circling are all memorable songs. Our Time in the Universe has more of an upbeat feel to it, and it pretty much serves as the finale for the album. I also think this is the best song that the album has. What I need to mention is that this is actually the deluxe version of the album. There's 4 bonus tracks: Bend in the Wind, Wrong Side, Misery Chain, and a remix version of Our Time in the Universe. Overall, I really enjoy this album. It sounds like Chris was trying to recapture the sound of his first solo album. Not only that, but also doing things better. I also consider this to be the best album that Chris had done in his solo career. If I was going to do the list of the best albums of the 2010s, you can guarantee that this album will make the list. I highly recommend this album. just said that this was the last material that Chris Cornell had worked on for his untimely death in 2017. However, there was a compilation album released in 2018 that compiled solo work that he had done throughout his career, along with material from Soundgarden, Audioslave, and Temple of the Dog. That album also has some unreleased material. I don't own that album, but I'll get it eventually and do a review of it. And that's all I have to say on this album. If you like the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And be sure to hit the notification bell to be notified of future uploads. And leave a comment if you like. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back on Wednesday with another review.